everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk about Daredevil Born again. Oh my goodness, there has been so much coming out on this. First of all, there has been back and forth. There has been sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Conflicting reports on how canon they're going to make the Netflix shows. So we thought that they were going to just make the Netflix shows completely and utterly canon. Now we're getting reports that it's basically going to be what they were going to do at first, but not. Like, the Netflix shows are more canon, but they're not necessarily completely canon. Like take case in point, apparently the way they're going to work it is, whatever they think works, they'll keep canon, and whatever they don't think work, they won't keep canon. At least that's the vibe I'm getting, which I'm hoping is true, because good lord, I would hate to be stuck with that shit version of Iron Fist and that crappy version of The Hand. The Hand is such a big, if you're a Marvel fan of any fucking, with any sense in your brain, you know how big the Hand organization is to the Marvel universe. I mean, they are the League of Shadows in the Marvel, League of Shadows in DC. They are that. They are right up there with the other big organizations like Hydra. They're right up there with Serpents. Like, they're up there with all the big old evil organizations. So the League of Shadows are an important group to Marvel. First of all, they're undead ninjas, which is a badass thing anyways. So it would really suck to have the League of Shadows go out looking like that garbage that it was. Especially now that Marvel has the rights to everything, so they can do the proper League of Shadows with with Silver Samurai heading them up, them in the red outfits. You know, they can really play it up a lot now. So I'm hoping that certain things aren't canon and certain things are canon. I'm good with Mike Coulter. I'm good with the Mike Coulter coming back playing Luke Cage. Christian Ritter is rumored to be coming back to play Jessica Jones. We already know John Bernthal is coming back to play the Punisher. We already know that. So I'm good with all that, but it would really suck to have some of the shittier stuff come back. Now, I'm curious if they may be able to get Rosario Dawson to come back, especially since she's already confirmed to be doing a second season of Ahsoka. So I can see Rosario Dawson coming back to play not Claire. Was it Claire? Maybe it was Claire. I can't remember. I can't remember her name from the Netflix shows. But I can see Rosario Dawson coming back. Also, there is a bit of a spoilerish kind of things, and I don't know if I want to get into that, but there's a lot of rumors and stuff, and there's set images that are coming out on potential death sequences and whatnot. First of all, one of the big things that, we could just talk about here is that the actor who played Bullseye is not only coming back, he is going to be in his Bullseye suit, and he will be, doing his thing, which is awesome. I like that actor as Bullseye, because Bullseye in the Marvel Comics has a very mysterious origin. A lot like the Joker, the Bullseye origin has shifted and changed so often that there's no real definitive Bullseye origin story. No one really knows. Now, there was one that they kind of set up in a comic. I can't remember if it was a Frank Miller. I can't remember if it was a Frank Miller run or whatever. But there was a comic book run where he was depicted as like a sociopathic kid who played baseball, and he snapped like fucking Michael Myers and just killed some kid because he just snapped and just nailed him in the side of the fucking skull. And there is that version, and they kind of went with that version in this one. But I think that actor played Dexter, I think that was his name, Dexter, so well, aka Bullseye, because while he was psychotic and whatnot, there was a part of him, well written, that you remember being like, yo, because he had this therapist who he was having a connection with who been killed. But regardless, he was a crazy psychopath, a dangerous man, but he was mentally ill. And it was if he needed, there was this part, it's if he got the proper help, he wouldn't be what he is. But he stepped too far over and he can't come back now. So it's awesome seeing Bullseye. I would want them to do, that's the problem is, there's so many things from the comic that they've already done. The death of Elektra, the hand, like the takedown of the hand. Like, I would want to see these things done again better. I want to see Elektra come back. I even like the actress who played Elektra, so I would love to see her come back. I like Elektra being Greek, actually Greek, and not looking like a white woman. I mean, not to say there aren't people who are Greek who don't look like white women, but, you know, she probably look a little bit like the actual actress they got to play Elektra in the show. Plus, she had this fierceness to her and this, like, like, I can't remember the actress's name. She's been in other things since then. The actress that got to play Elektra in Netflix, she had this fierceness to her. There was this. Not only was she sexy, but she had this poisonous fruit vibe to her, and it was sexy. It was sexy. It was sexy. It was scary. It was intimidating, and there was so much going on with that version of Elektra that I just loved, dude. I loved it. So hopefully she gets to come back too. But we're getting Bullseye back. We're obviously getting Kingpin, and we assume with the setup at the end of Echo that the show is going to be Kingpin running for mayor, which is going to be interesting. Now, we really don't know. I think we know, but we really don't know what time period a lot of this is going to take place in. For all we know, a chunk of it's going to take place during the blip. Honestly, if I were them, if I was Marvel, I would make this take place during the time period where, you know, half the Earth was gone. Because we kind of had it, like, kind of confirmed, but I don't know if anyone, but I can't remember where it was said, that Daredevil did not get blipped away. He did not get snapped away. He was alive throughout that whole chunk of time. So it's not nothing to really go out on a limb and just say things were tough, and it was this really tough, difficult patch of time. Because I figured that's how they're gonna explain most things. Because last time we saw Kingpin, he was in prison and he tried to break out of prison, and he very publicly tried to break out of prison. And he made a promise to Daredevil that he would never try to get out. That as long as Vanessa was safe, he would never try to get out of prison. Now we know they recast for the actress who's playing Vanessa, so Vanessa is probably safe. So unless something crazy happened within this time span, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that if this is going to be like, oh, the Netflix shows are all canon, which is the only problem I have with the Netflix shows being canon in the first place is that they weren't written to be canon, so they weren't written to be accounted for, because it makes absolutely no sense that the Kingpin is still running around in suits and shit and just chilling, even though he was just in prison for confirmed shit. He got convicted for all these things. Not only did he get convicted for all these things, but then he got found out that he was like manipulating people and buying people and trying to break out of prison. It just doesn't make any sense that he would have been able to get out of prison. That's the only problem. It doesn't make any sense. That part doesn't make sense to me. But the way they can make it make sense, obviously, is the blip. Is that snap happened, things went into chaos, and Kingpin took advantage of that situation, figured a way out of prison legally, and now that things are returning back to normal, he's still out and about. Because it just doesn't make any sense that he would be able to run for mayor, which I'm assuming that's going to be one of the big plot points of Born Again. That not only will he be able to run for mayor, but how the fuck did he get out of prison in the first place? And be able to create this organization. Though, I like it. Though, I do like the idea that that's why the Tracksuit Mafia was his, like, because they kind of play the Tracksuit Mafia, which they are in the comics too, the Tracksuit Mafia. They played them like dunces, like idiots, like morons in the Hawkeye show, which they are, but like in the Hawkeye show, it seemed like they were Kingpin's like #1 guys, which for us who watch Daredevil, we know that's not the case. So the idea that the Tracksuit Mafia were like just some side thing he was doing, they were like some side gang he was running, and like, but they were so small that it wasn't that big of a deal. Kingpin gets out of prison, all of his shit's gone, so he had to start over, and he had to start using the tracksuits as his main muscle. I'm connecting the dots. At least I think those are gonna be the dots. I'm trying to connect the Netflix stuff to the MCU stuff. But also on top of that, Daredevil has a new suit. They are introducing at least the first suit of Bullseye. I'm hoping that I've seen it. I'm hoping that eventually we get to that awesome, the classic black and white, Bullseye suit. But the Daredevil suit, it's basically the old Daredevil suit, except red, except more red. It's like more red with black on it because they're trying to make it more comic book accurate. They're doing the same thing with Deadpool. The same exact thing with Deadpool. With Deadpool, they like, if you've seen Deadpool in the past, it was red, but it was like a muted red. It was like a muted red. Same thing with the Daredevil. It was more burgundy than red, and it never. And even in the She-Hulk show, when he had the yellow and red, it was more. It was still a muted yellow and a muted red. Here, it seems like it's gonna be like red. Because if you've ever seen Daredevil in the comics, he has a red suit. Ain't no black. Ain't no. It's just red, brother. So it's cool that they're giving him just and it's less of a helmet. It's a helmet still, but it's also kind of looks like a cowl. Like he's more superhero than in the past. And obviously from She-Hulk, if you've seen, you know, they added a little bit of CGI in there to make him look more acrobatic. Because Daredevil is supposed to, and which has always been my beef, Daredevil is supposed to be able to swing with Spider-Man. He is supposed to be able to keep up with Spider-Man. He's supposed to be one of the most agile characters in Marvel. And we've seen Spider-Man do crazy shit. We've seen Captain America do crazy shit. We've seen Black Widow do crazy shit. Like, the stuff that Daredevil was doing in Netflix was good for Netflix. But if he's gonna be hanging with fucking Spider-Man and, you know, you got a fucking Kingpin who can fucking throw fucking car doors and shit. Like, if he's gonna be hanging with Spider-Man, he's gotta step it up. So I'm happy to see that they're gonna start adding little CGI touches to like pump up his athleticism, because he's supposed to be able to do some of this crazy acrobatic shit. He's Daredevil, like that's his whole fucking thing is acrobats. You know, acrobatic movements. So I'm happy. So them adding that in, making the suit more red, I think that's just heading in the right direction. Now there may be a certain character dying or two, which I hope. All right, I'm just getting it out of the way right now. The rumor is Karen and Foggy are gonna die. That's the rumor. Yeah, that's the way. Karen Page and Foggy Nelson are gonna die. Now, what I'm hoping is Karen dies and Foggy doesn't die, because Foggy is such an important character to the Daredevil mythos. He is the Jimmy Olsen to his Superman. He is the I wouldn't say Alfred to his Batman. Maybe the Alfred to his Batman. Like, he is literally the #1 guy. He is, it's literally like Elektra, Stick, and then Foggy. That's it. Those are the three people, no matter what Daredevil story you're telling, are in his life. They are consistently in his life. And I don't know, and I know they want to treat this sort of like a beginning and a turning of the page. Now, granted, I can't see them killing both of them simply to completely turn the page, right? Because without them, they're like the base of Matt's like normal life. So without them, he would have to find a new normal, which then would allow the MCU to kind of give him a new normal, to like kind of like be like, all that stuff that happened in the past, some of that happened, some of that didn't. But we acknowledged it and we got rid of it. Now, I'm hearing it might be at the end of the show. Who knows? They're filming in New York right now, and there's a lot of cameras taking pictures. But overall, I am very excited about this news. Also, I'm hearing there's going to be 13 episodes now. They're going to go with the more Netflix original series vibe. They brought in they brought in the actual fight coordinator for the Netflix series. So they brought in the fight coordinator. They're doing a lot of shit right now. Like, they really are trying to make this like a bigger budget version of the Netflix shows, which is what it should be, if I'm being honest, because that was almost my one problem with the Netflix shows, is I thought the budgets were so low on those shows that they couldn't get across the things they should have been able to get across. I've said it before, Luke Cage could throw fists with the Hulk, but that version of Luke Cage on Netflix, I'm like, no, Jessica Jones can fly. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that, you know, the Purple Man should have been purple. You know, like, there's certain things that I'm like, okay, now that they got the budget, they can actually do what they need to do. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful, man. I'm excited for Born Again. Can't wait for it to come out. Might be a bit since they're filming right now, but I'm excited. I'm glad they went back to the drawing board and figured out what they wanted to fucking do, man. I am hyped for this, dude. I love that red suit. I don't know how some people feel, but I dig the red suit. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Move Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you on the next one.